The destruction of our lands really is a destruction of Ghana. Land, ladies and gentlemen, is our most important asset. In fact, we don't recognize it. For the most part, we take it for granted. There are many countries who would be so happy to have 1/4 of the land that we have in Ghana, just 1/4 of it. If you look at it, many countries are having issues with land, because as the population is growing, and the world's population is growing significantly, the question that is out there today in the development literature is, how are we going to feed ourselves, and will there be enough water for us to drink? The water issue is a very important issue, and people are even thinking very way ahead in how to do this. So we should not take for granted the land that God has given us. I think we take it too much for granted. And when we destroy this land, of course, we are destroying our agriculture. We are creating health problems when we destroy our rivers. You see the sort of practice that is taking place in our rivers. You saw in the video machines that have been put in to do mining in our riverbeds with cyanide, with mercury, which is causing us many health problems, as well as making our water undrinkable. As was said, even the processing of this water, the treatment of this water was not possible recently by many water treatment works, because it had gotten so bad. And so we are taking a very forceful approach, but a comprehensive approach towards this problem. Nana Akufo-Addo recognizes that stopping galamsey also means that we have to provide alternative livelihoods for the people who engage in the galamsey activities, because some may just be engaging in it as part of desperation and not knowing what else to do to eke out a living. So we have to take into account a comprehensive and a holistic solution to this galamsey issue. We have to deal forcefully with it, and this is where the role of the armed forces and the police will come in, and they are being resourced, should I say. They are being resourced to deal with this. And we are seeing this not as a one-time matter, that if we are going to deal with the problem of galamsey, it has to be a sustained effort. You don't go in and go out, because once you go out, they will just wait for you to go out and they will come back again and continue. So in terms of preparation, and this is why some people have wondered why it is taking time, you have to prepare to send in the forces and the troops and all of that for a sustained effort to deal with the galamsey problem. Of course, we believe that to create alternative livelihoods on a sustained basis, you really have to transform this economy. The economy as it is today is not creating sufficient jobs. And this is why, as a government, we have identified certain pillars to make sure that we create these jobs on a sustained basis. The government has launched the Planting for Food and Jobs program, which is our major agricultural initiative. And this program seeks to increase agricultural production as well as productivity. We have reduced the prices of fertilizers by 50%, when we are making improved seeds available. We want to make sure that we establish mechanization centers in all districts to allow for access to tractors and other farming implements. We also believe that we need to increase investment in this economy's infrastructure significantly to create jobs. And this is why Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is very committed to finding the resources to inject for the creation of that development of that infrastructure. We are happy to note that we are very much on course, God willing, to bring about an integrated bauxite aluminum industry in Ghana, which, if it is done, will make sure that our Western Railway from Takoradi all the way to Kumasi is done. Our railway from Accra all the way to Kumasi is done. And our railway from Kumasi all the way to Paga is also done. This is something that we are very much going to do. And this is going to be started this year. We don't want to talk and it becomes talk like other talks. Nana Akufo-Addo is very much focused on this matter, and we should see the beginning, at least with the Western Railway line starting, and we have the work cut out for us. We are also going to, in this context of revamping infrastructure, really move very quickly to construct almost 1,050 kilometers of roads. We've identified all these key roads that are at a standstill on the Eastern Corridor, on the Western Corridor, on the Central Corridor. A total of almost 1,050 kilometers of roads, and that will really transform the road sector in this country. There are so many roads in the farm plains and other areas that if we actually constructed, will make sure agric really comes to the fore. So many fertile lands are not in play in this country, and we need to bring them in play with the road development project. One of the results from the trip I recently made from China is that we are going to get the construction of 90 bridges in this country within the next year or two. We are going to move forward with that across all the regions, and these bridges have been identified already, and we are just going to go and make sure we bring a lot of places which have been cut off back into circulation. We have 25 district hospitals to construct, and homes of about 100,000 houses. The Bupe Inland Port would also be constructed along with the Buankra Inland Port. And these will really help us as we try to get this economy going. The One District, One Factory project is a very important project. Thankfully, we have been able to secure an amount of $2 billion for this particular project, and it should see us move very quickly. The government's flagship approach to dealing with Galamsey is the Multilateral Mining Integrated Project. And the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources will talk a lot on it when he comes up as far as the very elements of this multilateral mining integrated project. But we are not doing this alone. There are many countries that are standing behind us to do it. We are taking the lead, but we are getting support from other countries who have also recognized that this is not good. What is happening in Ghana, as far as Galamsey is concerned, is not good. And so countries such as Australia, Canada, China, United States, they are all pitching in to help us to deal with this problem. They also find it something that we should deal with. And we are going to count on their support. But fundamentally, we are taking the lead. We are making sure that we prioritize this issue and we allocate the resources for this issue. If you prioritize it without allocating the resources for it, then you are not going to be successful. But Nana Akufo-Addo has prioritized this, he has allocated the resources, and we are going to go in a big way. We really are going to count on you, the chiefs, to help government, to help Ghana, to help yourselves, because as I said, the chieftaincy institution is itself under threat. But I know that from the numbers I am seeing here today, that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's those efforts are going to be very, very much supported by you. And I thank you in advance for this. God bless you, and God bless our homeland, Ghana.